right, welcome to the third episode of the Cold Open Podcast. I am joined here again with my co-host, Allie.
Hello.
And in keeping with our theme here, we're going to lead into the next Robin, which is going to be Jason Todd. Now, Jason Todd is phenomenal. I love Jason Todd. He is such a poor boy. This boy deals with so many very terrible things. And it's crazy to think about, like, the Joker does a lot of very bad shit. The Joker does a lot of very bad things to Batman. But I think this was the single worst thing that he's ever done to Batman.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess we should probably start from the beginning. Who is Jason Todd?
Well, fun story. Before pre-crisis, his original beginning is kind of interesting because he has pretty much like the exact same upbringing as Dick Grayson. He is another circus acrobat,
Are you
and
serious?
yeah, his family was called the Flying Todds.
What?
Apparently
Are you
also
fucking
had
kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding. He also apparently had red hair, which he dyes. Now, I'm a little confused on this because I've never seen him with red hair, so I'm assuming that is completely retconned, or he continues to dye his hair throughout everything. Yeah, like
Imagine
once
the
he gets
amount
a
of fucking hair dye you'd have to go through as a
and as a
superhero.
child too, to
Yeah.
just dye your hair constantly. I
Ugh.
mean, yeah. So
Okay,
that's
so
really
that's
fun.
that's pre-crisis, you said. So
Yeah, that's
that's
completely retcon now. That is not his beginning. But I just wanted to
okay.
start off as that because I think it's funny when, Dick Grayson did so well. So, like, let's just do the exact same thing.
Yeah, that's yikes. I don't know who decided on that, but yeah, the Flying Todds? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That is the laziest shit I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it's pretty
Oh,
rough.
okay. Well, yeah, okay. So, so when does Jason Todd become Robin? Is this is Dick Grayson still, like, in the picture at this point? How does that work?
So, during his timeline, Dick Grayson is with the Teen Titans
Okay.
and has pretty much completely left Batman's side, which is why when he finds out, it puts another rift between him and Bruce because all of a sudden he finds out that some random kid has been shoved into this and he takes the name that is Dick's. Like, Batman had no right. And I will always stand by that Batman had no right whatsoever to take ownership of Robin and that mantle. And he did. And
Oh,
it'll always bother me.
so you're telling me that at this point in time there were two Robins at the exact same time?
No, no, no. Dick Grayson at this point is Nightwing.
Oh, okay. So he's Nightwing running the Teen Titans. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, at this point he gave up Robin.
Okay.
And
I thought
then
you were saying, like this is when he is Robin with the Teen Titans, and then he's like, well, fine, if you want to go hang out with your friends, I'm gonna make a new friend. Here's this Robin. Here's also Robin. Take your pants off, kid. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I love it.
That joke
No, you're
will never get old. Batman runs around with
Batman
with a little
short.
kid that does not have pants on. It's terrible. Terrible,
Which
terrible.
it's funny because in a way, like as an acrobat, I mean, it
It
makes
makes
sense when
sense.
you
It makes
especially,
sense.
but it's like at the same time, like, can we please,
Yeah, but, like, Batman
put
wears a
on
full
pants?
fucking full suit, and he can
Right, and
be
you honestly
acrobatic.
think like he would let a child honestly run around with no protection
Yeah.
on legs and arms? It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
It's funny because that ends up being a plot point.
Yep.
in this exact in this exact series.
Yep.
So yeah, Jason Todd, right? Like he's he had to live up to a pretty big name being this new Robin. So I could only assume Batman was just super hard on this kid. Um, I I couldn't imagine like
Yeah.
standing in the shadow of Dick Grayson. It's got to be the worst.
Well, especially unlike Dick Grayson, Jason Todd is impulsive, reckless, and full of rage, which
Mhm.
makes sense considering his upbringing. His mother was addicted to drugs. His
Yikes!
father was a career petty criminal and had a, was in prison, and then he gets released and he just never comes home. He's
Oh,
poor.
oh shit! Are
So
you
like,
his dad? Just is like, nah, I'm
yeah.
good. Wow.
Yeah, so like he has, as a young kid, especially living in Gotham, like that's how you have to be to survive.
Right.
So after so many years, I mean, you can't just take that out of a chick like a kid. You can't, it just doesn't work that way.
Right.
So, and especially Bruce isn't good with children in general or emotions, so he just makes it worse
Yeah.
by not talking and helping and giving support like you should.
Right. So why?
So,
So how does Jason Todd come into uh Batman's tutelage? Like, how does that work? How? Why? What happened?
Jason Todd comes across the Batmobile
Oh.
and steals the tires.
Oh, this is the punk that steals the wheels off of the Batmobile. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And he got the one for
Imagine.
sure and came back for the others, and that's when Batman finds them.
Holy fuck. Imagine you see the Batmobile and you're like, dude, I'm gonna steal these fucking hubcaps, dude. I'm gonna steal these tires. What's Batman gonna do? Beat the fucking shit out of me?
And absolutely, but when you think about it, it's more like it's actually kind of sad because he was that desperate that he saw the opportunity, even though it was Batman. And at this point,
Yeah.
Batman's still very much terrifying and still very much beats the crap out of people. And Jason Todd's like, I really need to eat, so I'm gonna steal these tires regardless.
Yeah, and Batman's still stinging off of the loss of Robin. Um,
Yeah.
so he's like, oh, this little fucking punk. In an alternate timeline, he beats him and he just becomes a villain. The oh, that's terrible. Okay.
But after he's found and caught,
Mhm.
um, Bruce in fantastic fashion without which is surprising. He's the greatest detective ever, yet he keeps making these stupid mistakes when it comes to his Robins. He puts Jason in a boarding school, which turns out to literally just be like a factory for criminals. Because they're like taking young kids off the streets and using them and manipulating them to do more crime.
Wow.
So, Jason's literally taken out of one crappy situation with no support and put into another crappy situation with
R-
no support.
right, except the difference is when you're doing it on your own, you're doing it for your own
You have
survival.
that choice.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he's forced into a situation where he has to. Like,
Yeah.
there is no other option. That's. Yeah, how does Okay. How does Batman not know there's a fucking child factory that spits out criminals? How does he not know that?
And it's like, it's so hard because I do. Like, I adore Batman. I cannot say that enough
Mm-hmm.
because during this series, I'm going to bash him. But then there's moments like this when I'm doing research and I'm like, you're an
Dude.
awful person.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude. Come
with
on.
a terrible track record with children. Like, he
Yeah.
doesn't do right by any of them,
Yeah, that's.
honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
this isn't even talking about the different Batgirls, which is a whole nother thing I don't even feel like touching right now.
I I
So,
I mentioned in the last episode about Barbara Gordon getting her fucking spine snapped. We're not.
shot. She was shot
Oh
by the
right,
Joker.
that's right. That's right. That's right.
Again.
Dude,
Why are we not
why
getting
is the
rid of the
Joker still
Joker?
alive? The only time I've ever seen him kill the Joker was in the Injustice
Yeah.
run. And that was just and the only reason he did that is because he fucking nuked a city and killed Clark Kent's girl, Lois Lane.
Yeah.
And oh my god.
Yeah. So
That's That's rough, buddy.
Yeah. So after all of this, this is when Bruce decides, wow, this kid, like, there's no way with, proper counseling and a steady home that he could be a proper adult. So I'm going to make him the new Robin so he doesn't become a criminal.
Mm-hmm.
That was his decision to help Jason, a child with a terrible past, instead of, like, again, counseling and maybe bringing him into my home and giving him support and love and stability.
Fucking professionals that deal with mental health.
Because, they're out there. And in the real world, people survive awful things all the time.
Batman,
with,
Bruce Wayne has so much fucking money. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like money solves everything, but imagine.
It does.
Well, it would solve literally all of my problems, but that's neither here nor there. Like, imagine if you had the planet to your disposal, right? You have every system physically possible to use to rehabilitate, to help, to cure, to assist, to heal. And you're like, nah, put on this green costume and help me beat up people that are just as bad as you.
Doesn't help your rage at all.
No. Nope. Yeah. Just take your anger out on these people, And obviously that's not what Batman was saying, but come on.
That's exactly what he's going to take, though. Yeah. I mean, and especially, like, he learns how to, like, use rage to get what he wants, and, like, he acts on it instead of finding a proper coping mechanism that helps him dissolve it, because that's a huge thing down the road is Jason Todd's rage and what it causes him to do to people he cares about and how much regret he has later in life. And, like, with the proper tools, none of this, a lot of it could have been avoided.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's our lovely Bruce Wayne dropping the ball again.
Yeah, this is going to be a running theme, isn't it?
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so fuck. So this is does he appear in Under the Hood first, or is it Death in the Family first? I know those ones, but I don't.
I think it's Death in the Family.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Death in the Family.
Okay, so how does Jason Todd very clearly has an issue. He's got many issues, but his stint as Robin. So, okay, I guess we should probably mention this. In real life, nobody liked Jason Todd, right?
No. So
the writer's idea their idea was not, let's kill this guy off and then give him this cool, like, comeback. Nah, they're like, how do we get rid of Jason Todd in a way that, like, makes sense? Oh, let's have the fucking Joker kill him. Let's have the Joker beat him to death with a crowbar.
Well, don't forget, the fans picked his fate.
Yeah.
They had a call-in service for everyone to decide, like, what would happen to Jason Todd.
Yeah.
I just don't think anyone realized how awful and brutal it was going to be.
Dude, okay, listen, if anybody listens to this episode, if you called in and you were like, yeah, you kill Jason, kill him with a fucking crowbar, you write in the comments why. I just want to know. I'm not going to pretend like Jason Todd was, like, the best character of all time, but holy hell. That is a lot of vitriol. That is a lot of toxicity.
I know. It does bring out another great character, though. I mean, what he's become to be is great. But yeah, that's pretty brutal.
Yeah, I mean, just because somebody, they can write well does not mean that this character deserved that. Like, good God.
Especially as a poor, like, again, like...
He was a kid.
He was a child.
He was like 12 or something when he gets beaten.
They're all, like, the same age when they pretty much start out, besides Tim Drake. So I would say he was probably about 11, 12.
Oh my God.
Probably, like, close to 13, 14 when he died, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't know how old he was. But he was young. But yeah. So, I mean, it all starts out, Jason discovers the mother that he thought was his biological mother is not, and he runs away to find her and finds out that she's being blackmailed by the Joker.
Mm.
So she sells Jason to the Joker for her own life.
Oh my god.
And he's still
So dark.
and I don't know if he actually beats her as well, but they're both in the warehouse. Like he leaves both of them in there. So she doesn't survive anyway. So she sells her own son. And then no matter what, like she still gets, a terrible death.
Well,
So,
I mean, unfortunately, the Joker is
which
not.
she kind of deserves,
Yeah, the Joker's not somebody to trust
in my
anyway.
opinion.
But like, yes.
No. And still, just like, that's your child.
Yeah.
Like,
Hey, look, I'm
I
just
don't
gonna say
know.
that I have some people in my life, not any like close extended family members, that don't get that truly do not have like maternal or paternal feelings for their children, and that's something that I could never understand as a
Yep.
father. Like, I could not state enough how I would absolutely be the first person to jump in front of a bullet, or you know I would die before I would in that situation be like, fuck it, I guess you're just gonna have to kill me because I'm not gonna tell you anything. But
Yeah.
I don't know. That's I mean, being in the situation is a little different, of course, but because I'm just sitting here behind a fucking computer screen, I can say whatever I want now, but I don't know, man.
Right.
Crazy guy. He's like, tell me where your kid is, or I'll kill you. I don't know.
No thanks.
No,
Like I'll pass.
no, thank you. Yeah.
But yeah, so then he that's his death. And that's Batman says it himself that was his biggest mistake and his biggest regret that he'll carry with him to the rest of his life.
Well,
But it still doesn't fix what happened, obviously.
right.
Which is the running theme of, Jason Todd is like, yeah, you might have said this is your biggest mistake, it's your biggest regret, yet you honestly didn't actually do anything to fix it or make it better or to seek atonement.
Yeah, because
Not really.
right. Well, once the Red Hood, I guess spoilers question mark. If you don't know that, I mean, we probably mentioned it a million times before, but
Mm-hmm.
like the Red Hood, if you when he reveals himself to be Jason Todd to Batman, um, that should have been the most like soul crushing moment in his life, and in that in the movie that that he was in, the animated film.
Under the Red Hood.
Yeah, Under the Red Hood, phenomenal,
Oh.
phenomenal movie. That's a great story. Um, in that whole thing, Batman is still fighting to save the Joker
Yep.
through the whole fucking thing. Oh,
And Jason Todd's right there. This
yeah.
child that he lost, this
Mhm.
child that apparently loves, that he could have a second chance no matter how messed up or hurt he is, and he throws it away to save a madman. He was not after this, didn't only kill Jason, but crippled Barbara Gordon at this point.
Yeah, and like, uh, I, I like it. I've said this before in the last couple episodes. I totally understand Batman. I get him. He's complex. He has his issues, but he wants to be like better. He wants to be better than that. It's super easy to just say I'm gonna kill somebody, and just kill somebody in that situation. I totally understand that. But looking Jason Todd in the face, looking at him, knowing everything that he did, and to not just to Batman directly, but to Jason, to Jason's family, to Barbara, to all these people, all these innocent people, and to say no, we've got to be better than them. sometimes you can't be better. Sometimes you have to be worse. Honestly, this is the real world, and the Joker should have been put down. I mean, yeah, I probably just don't get it. Like, I said the exact phrase before, where there's probably something I'm missing, but in that situation,
I'm in the same boat, to be honest. Like, there's a point where, like, real life, I can't fully understand because he's like the worst serial killer ever. And what have we done to every terrible, awful serial killer that we have caught? So, like, that's my issue. It's like, it becomes like unbelievable.
yeah, it's a failure, and that sucks because Jason Todd is the product of a failure on Batman's front, on Gotham City's police department, failure on, frankly, at this point, the United States government. Because let's be honest with ourselves here, at that point, like, he's a terrorist, for Christ's sake. He blew up that warehouse that Jason Todd was in, after beating him nearly to death with a crowbar, or literally to death. I think he gets brought back to life.
Yeah, so that's a little confusing. Because originally I always thought that they just pulled his body, like Ra's al Ghul just pulled his body out and dumped him in the pit. But what actually happens is Superboy Prime alters reality from the Paradise Redemption, or Dimension, my goodness, which brings back Jason Todd. So Jason Todd literally wakes up in his grave 6 months after he dies and breaks out, claws his way out, but still has his injuries. So, like, he's found and put in the hospital and he's in a coma. And still, Batman has no idea. And that's where Talia al Ghul finds him and recognizes him and takes him. So, I mean, that's even worse. Like, you clawed your way out of your own grave. Like, yeah, as a child.
And then, so you've mentioned Talia a couple times.
Yes.
Al Ghul, is she Ra's?
She is Ra's al Ghul's daughter.
Okay.
Yep.
Did her and Batman have a relationship, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I thought you mentioned that before. So what's her what is her standing, real quick? Is she like an anti-hero? Is she a villain? Like, what?
She's definitely more villain than anything. Yeah. She tries to be good, but at this point, like, she's been swimming in treading water for so long that there's no way she's getting out. And that's even with, like, Batman, trying to influence her. So she never, like, she kind of does good sometimes. And I definitely don't like how they write her sometimes as a character, because they make her more evil than I think she needs to be. Like, I kind of like her treading that line and having very complex morals.
Catwoman.
Yeah.
Literally Catwoman. I mean,
she's literally a Catwoman that kills, pretty much.
Yeah.
But, and, has a father that's like 600 years old.
Yeah, well, I mean, she has a really unfortunately unremarkable design.
Yeah.
She looks like an off-brand Black Widow. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, it's definitely a bummer. They definitely could take a lot more with her, because she is Damian Wayne's mother. So
we'll get there.
Yes. So, like, that's another thing. It's like, and it happens. I mean, some characters are gonna lack until someone picks it up that like really wants to do good, and it'll happen eventually, I'm sure. But yeah, so she picks up Jason Todd, throws him in the pit, and then, after that, he is repeatedly manipulated, mostly by Ra's and Talia as well, to, like, hate what Batman's doing.
Well, I mean, honestly, like,
which is not that hard.
I was gonna say, they didn't really have to do much, because with all of Batman's skills and great detective work, Jason Todd died. He let him die. And then Batman's like, ah, fuck, this one's dead. Time to get a new one. And picks up Tim, right? Tim Drake.
Yep. 6 months. Fuck. So probably I feel like Tim Drake was probably running around as Robin as Jason Todd clawed his way out of his grave.
That is so fucking morbid. Like, that's awful. I've had relationships that I couldn't get over for longer than 6 months. I couldn't imagine having what you imagine to be a child, your kid, die violently, and you're just like, 6 months period's over. Come here, little kid.
Granted, though, Tim Drake, and that's why, like, he's also, and that's where I say, like, Dick Grayson's definitely my favorite, but they all are phenomenal. And depending on my mood, I'll switch around for a couple seconds. But Tim Drake forces his way in. So that's actually not fully Batman's fault. But at the same time, like, it's still Batman's fault because he's the adult. But
yeah.
Jason Todd, my goodness, I'm getting everyone mixed up. Tim Drake forces his way in.
Okay, so we'll get into that because Drake is the next one.
Yes.
So this man's pulls himself out of the grave, works with Ra's al Ghul and Talia, but then he's like, nah, like, I have some shit I need to take care of. Finds the Joker, beats the living hell out of him with a crowbar. Little bit of dramatic irony there. Little bit of irony.
Yeah.
And then, like, starts to destroy a criminal empire.
Yes.
So what I'm hearing is there is a criminal empire and Batman isn't doing shit about it or can't. No. And then Jason Todd comes back and is fueled with so much hate. He's like, no, fuck you, Batman. You think you can... Nah, man. Fuck this shit. Starts taking stuff out. So, and I would only assume that would start to piss off other heroes in the area. I'm sure Batman heard about it through that. You know what I mean?
Well, it's so funny, too, because, like... And that's probably where, like, some people out there were very angry with me because I don't understand. But it's like... Jason Todd was right. What he's doing, like, it was
Jason
brutal.
Todd did nothing wrong.
But his method is working. I mean, you got these terrible gangsters, and they're awful, and in one night, he, like, takes out and, like, substantiates himself as the new crime lord and goes out of his way to say, don't sell to kids and don't get involved in trafficking. And I'm going to sit here and run your empire.
Or I kill you.
And it's like, well, I mean, truthfully, in the real world, you can't eradicate something like that truly overnight. And it's never truly going to go away.
Yeah.
So the best thing would be to, get a system to control it. Yeah. And, funnel filters.
Fear is the biggest motivator one of the biggest motivators when it comes to just humanity in general. That's why the Scarecrow is such a, like, phenomenal villain. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so yeah, his whole thing is like, fuck Batman. We don't need Batman. We'll just I'll get rid of crime. Watch this. Shoots criminal in forehead with pistol. See? No more crime. You know how much you have to spend on that man's? How much does it cost for a casket and a closed casket funeral? And put him in the ground. $2,000? Done. So, like, that's Batman's thing is, like, anybody can be saved. Anybody can be, anybody can come back from that. And I think that's why Batman has such a hard time with the Joker. Because Batman's ideology is anybody can can be good. I think that's what it is. I think it comes down to the whole concept of, all these bad things happen to me, and I ended up doing good. I take out bad guys. That's why he puts people in an asylum, and asylums are truly, I would assume, are supposed to help instead of just incarcerate. Otherwise, they would be in Arkham prison. But obviously, Arkham Asylum is just the worst place on the planet. But Jason Todd is like, nah, they made that choice. They made their choice. They don't need to be saved. They don't have that luxury anymore. You lost that when you became a criminal. You lost that when you actively decide to wake up every day and be a slime ball.
Yeah.
Let the punishment fit the crime. That's literally one of his calling card. Or that's his calling card. It's just... yeah. I don't know.
Well, if you were annoyed with Bruce before, just wait. Because all of this ends with, obviously, Jason Todd recapturing the Joker as his final, show off. And he is behind the Joker, throws Batman a pistol, and says, if you want to save the Joker, you have to shoot me and kill me. Because he lines his body up so all you have is a headshot. And then he has a pistol to the Joker's head.
Yep. So
you would think that, obviously, Batman would just make the choice because there's also explosives. My goodness.
Channeling your inner Sean Connery.
They're ready to blow. So if they don't, or if Batman doesn't do what Jason wants, then the whole place is going to go. So instead of just pulling the trigger or, trying to talk Jason down, Bruce pulls out a batarang and throws it at Jason and slits his throat.
Oh my god.
Stop him. And then the Joker's... No, he doesn't kill him. Don't worry. But still, he cuts his throat. The Joker gets away, sets off the explosives, and everything goes kaboom, obviously.
Yeah.
And again, Batman's standing there thinking, oh, Jason's dead again. You know what I'm saying? Like, he got blown up again by the Joker. Because I couldn't save him.
Like, again, I can see Batman's point of view. It's like, he's not going to let anybody force him to bend his morals. He has the same stance against the Joker. The Joker will not force him to change who he is as a person. So, like, I get that. But this is a very unique situation where somebody who is directly in front of you, who you allowed to die because of your ineptitude, your inaction, whatever it may be, this person died because of you, and they're like begging and pleading you to see that you did something wrong, and he's just like, I know how to fix this. Slits his throat. Yeah. He doesn't even throw the batarang and like knock the gun out of his hand. He doesn't like throw the batarang at the Joker. Like, imagine like he doesn't kill him. He like hits him with the batarang and it's like sticking him. He's like, he deserves to be punished for what he did, but killing is not the answer. Something.
It's just the fact that to not compromise on his supposed morals, he hurts and possibly kills someone that he loves and raised and considered a son.
Mm-hmm.
That he's still mourning, and he's standing there in a second chance. Like, that's how I would see it. Like, if I lost my child to such, like, obviously, as I don't have children, but I would assume I would do anything I possibly could to have that second chance and grasp it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, let's just slit that second chance's throat.
Yeah, I
and let him get exploded and dropped into the bay
twice.
twice by the same man.
If I had a nickel for every time that this happened, I'd have 2 nickels. It's not a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice, right?
Uh,
Quote Doofenshmirtz. I mean, for God's sakes, man. Wow. Yeah.
yeah, so it's moments like this where I'm like, yeah, I really don't like Batman. And then there's other days where I'm like, I really like Batman. And then I remember this and I'm like, he's a great character, but at the same time, he's really not. Like, when you think about it that way, like the mistakes he's made, it's like, man.
the the problem. Okay. The biggest issue with this is that we're literally arguing the trolley problem. Um,
Yes.
the consequentialism.
Mm-hmm.
It, would you kill one person to save 5?
Right.
Would you kill? So would you kill one person to save 5?
I probably would. I wouldn't like it, but I
Sure.
do think I would make that choice, yes.
Right. Would you kill one person to save 4?
Probably.
One person to save 3?
Yeah, I don't know at that point. I
R-
mean, yeah,
right.
I mean, I get it. I do. But at the same time, I'm like,
Yeah. No, I mean, unfortunately, this is a dilemma that has it's been going on for a very long time. This is it's hard to argue ethics like that.
yes.
Um so I understand I understand the issue, and it's not fair to force Batman to choose between that. It doesn't matter if if it well rather it shouldn't matter if so this person, you have a relationship with this person. So basically what I'm saying is like it's unfair to force Batman to choose between killing um Jason, who is somebody that he used to care for, at least to a degree, who he thought was dead, but then came back and just started doing these reprehensible things. Like, let's be honest with ourselves here. The justice system exists for a reason, regardless of whether you think it's perfect or not. It's there for a reason, and I think we're better off with it existing than not. The rule of law is it's fine. Obviously, it has its flaws, but I'm not here to argue that. My point is like you really shouldn't just be like, oh, kill death. It's that easy. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be that
Mm-hmm.
easy to kill. It shouldn't be that easy to end a life. Even if somebody is a mafia member, if somebody is a criminal of any kind, even if they're a murderer, you know, it's it's funny that this conversation led down this path, because this is pretty much what I've changed the story that I'm writing. What I've
Mm-hmm.
turned it into is, you know, justice is justice is complicated, right? So,
Right.
um, the definition of justice is, let's see, just behavior or treatment, fair-mindedness, equity, fairness, being fair. So, like, let's take America for example. We have the innocent until proven guilty system,
Mm-hmm.
which unfortunately not everybody abides by, but let's not get into that.
Yeah.
Um, innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. So Batman's whole thing is that he thinks that everyone should go through this system, because it's not his job to decide who is guilty or not, right? Like I feel like that's what it is. I could be way far off on this, but in my opinion, it feels like he tries to leave it up to the system. Ironically enough, considering he is a vigilante, he does go outside the bounds of law, which again is by definition it's illegal. To then bring these criminals into justice. I mean, he's always shown handing off criminals to the cops, or it's not like Spider-Man, where like the camera pans down and there's a bunch of criminals wrapped up in webs and like friendly neighborhood Spider-Man sends his regards.
With the Post-it note rather than crayon.
Yeah, it's not like that, but it's basically he works with Gordon and the police commissioner and the police to apprehend people where they can't. So it's weird. Like, at what point are you going to say, well, I can break the law this much to bring in these culprits, but the way that you're doing it is just not okay.
Right.
It's, I don't know. It's definitely a bigger philosophical question that I'm not really sure that you or I are equipped to handle. At least myself. I won't speak for you, but
yeah, I think personally I probably have more of a, how do I want to word this? Like, I'm more clean cut, I guess. Like, I'm not as forgiving as a person. So I'm definitely more of a person like, yeah, I'm probably more fine with that. Like, I'm more fine with Jason Todd's methods. Like, especially like,
well,
not all of them to a point, obviously.
Yeah,
but I'm like, yeah.
Given Batman's track record, I totally respect that.
Yeah.
Because, like I said before, unfortunately, Batman's methods are not always the best. Arkham Asylum is a monument to his sins, and you cannot tell me otherwise. So yeah, but yeah, Jason Todd, I don't know. It's because we love to look at faceless, like, cannon fodder enemies, like goons, and just be like, whatever, dude, shoot him and kill him, it's fine. Watch John Wick. Holy fuck, have you seen John Wick?
Yeah.
Dude. But like all those faceless mafia members, he just guns down without a fucking effort, without a problem. He just does it. And you're like, every single one of those people, yeah, they work for the Russian mob, so they were probably pretty bad dudes. But like, they
have families out there. Dudes. Like, I do get it for sure. I see that aspect of like each one, has a family. Each one could have a daughter.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what sucks about it is, the whole idea of superheroes. They hold themselves to a higher, regard, and I think that's why most superhero stories twisted to, like, fighting people that are absolutely reprehensible instead of like just common criminals. Because it. The law is real fuzzy when it comes to like a dude dressed in a rhino costume, like straight up murdering people, as opposed to that was a Spider-Man villain reference, by the way. Yeah, like, it's different when it comes to that as opposed to like this guy named Jimmy, and he robbed a bank. He was gonna use that money to send his kid through college, and instead Batman broke every single bone in his body, and he was sent to prison at the end.
He probably has, honestly.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's why the shift moved towards like superheroes fighting superheroes and supervillains instead of this kind of
just the common criminal. Yeah, I definitely get that and it's very, very, very rare to see someone become a criminal just to become a criminal. Usually it's their circumstances and they don't have a choice. And normally they're brought into it and they have no chance.
Right.
Unless they're pulled from it.
And exactly. And that's exactly what it's the perfect
Batman
example.
tried to do.
Yeah, well, Jason
And
Todd. I
failed.
mean, he was forced into the criminal underworld. So
Mhm.
in an alternate timeline, Batman finds Jason Todd as an adult and beats the fuck out of him.
Right.
And that's the end of that, you know. And obviously, I'm over exaggerating. Batman doesn't just beat the shit out of people. You know, he probably
He does a bit.
yeah, he mostly does that, but that's beside the point. There are circumstances where that he deals with the situation. He's an effective hero, for Christ's sake. He's been around for
Oh yeah.
80 years, 90 years. Oh my god, a long time.
Yeah.
The 30s, right? 36, 37? I don't know. I don't remember when the first.
I think so. Pretty close.
But yeah, so, and so that's the thing, is Jason is a product. He's a product of a failure on society's fronts. He's a product of a failure of Bruce's, his ego, his anger, his disappointment. And unfortunately, Jason is a product of his own anger, because at that point, it is kind of up to you to decide. Unfortunately, through all the stuff he's been through, like, I get it. He's been brainwashed and manipulated and stuff like that, but speaking of, so how does that work out? How does that work out for the Red Hood after Jason Todd gets brutally murdered by the Joker and gets brought back to life as the Red Hood? Batman kills him again.
He didn't kill him. Like, he survives. He does it. He takes about a year to resurface. But he survived it, for sure. It's just,
your throat slit and blown up twice.
I mean, that's part of the pit, actually, at that point. The pit influence, you have slightly accelerated healing.
Oh, so you got a healing factor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
So, but yeah, and that's the other thing, like, I mean, and like people forget, like, Jason Todd is only like 19 at this point.
Yeah.
So he's gone all through all of this and he's only 19. I mean, granted, I'm only 25, but I mean, 19s are still babies.
Yeah.
They're teens.
Mm-hmm.
They're still teens. So,
oh
like,
my god, the difference between 19-year-old me and 25-year-old me is fucking insane.
It's kind of disgusting.
Yeah, like, I probably would get in a fight with younger me. Younger me would absolutely beat my ass, but I would be like, dude, what the fuck, man?
Like, who's this obnoxious girl?
Yeah, like,
oh my god. Get out of here.
Oh my god. Go back and listen to Skrillex some more. I still love Skrillex. I can't throw my boy under the bus.
I mean, I haven't listened to him a while, but I'm pretty sure he just dropped something new. Because I'm pretty sure I have, like, a couple playlists that are just, uploaded, and I think Skrillex came on. Not 100% sure, though, because I was at work, so I wasn't really paying attention.
Yeah, Too Bizarre is the song he just released.
Okay.
It's some dance music. I'll be honest, I'm not really into a lot of his newer stuff. His
old stuff was fun.
It was fun. That's it. It was fun. Like, and I'm not saying like he got bad or anything. Like, it's just not. He's more into the club crowd. He was always kind of a club DJ, but but like when he did Jack U with Diplo, I think. I can't remember. But he did that song with Justin Bieber. What is where? I'm gonna hold on. I gotta look it up now.
We go on so many tangents. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, because it. Yes, it was Diplo. Where are you now? That's what it's called. That song is a fucking bop. That song is a banger. And if you think otherwise, you're objectively incorrect. Anyway, Skrillex. Skrillex is great. So yeah, what's the Red Hood doing now? What's his arc?
From this, he jumps around a lot and just makes bad decision after bad decision for a while.
Yeah.
So when he first resurfaces, he goes to New York and becomes a murderous version of Nightwing and does that whole
He's
thing.
like, I'm just gonna find superheroes and fucking just copy them and kill people. So is it like, I mean, obviously the Red Hood thing was to mock Batman because of the Red Hood was a in one storyline. The Joker was the Red Hood as a
Originally, because he was a bank robber.
right,
And
like
then,
he was like a, what do you call it, like a patsy for
hmm
uh and Batman like kicks him into a vat of chemicals and he becomes the Joker. It's so hard to keep track of these multiverses, man.
I know.
Um so yeah, so he comes back as the Red Hood to pretty much to mock Batman. So then you're telling me that he goes to this other city. I mean, obviously he probably has like really horrible feelings towards Dick because of his cuz like he was the guy that he was supposed to live up to. Jason was supposed to live up to uh the the amazing crime fighting skills of Grayson, and clearly that didn't work out.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I feel like Dick Grayson was more removed from Jason Todd, so they don't have as strong a relationship, especially in the comics. Like when he first came to be, like Dick didn't even know, kind of
Hmm.
thing. And then he was so angry he tried to stay away for a long time.
Yeah.
Um, I would definitely say between all the Robins, the ones who have the most brotherly, where they play on that aspect would be between Jason and Tim.
Okay.
Because like Tim grew up seeing Jason as his Robin, so he wanted to live up to Jason more than probably Dick. But I mean it's a little weird. Like I feel like they were more detached
Hmm.
than the others, but like become closer in the older years kind of thing. But yeah, so he just like is obnoxious and goes and becomes Nightwing and then gets caught and captured by a unknown group of monsters and then is rescued by Grayson. And then together they take down these mobsters and then Jason's like, I should probably just leave.
uh
And you're
yeah.
doing a good job, so I'll just let you be.
Fuck it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then let's see. So he does that and then he does the he comes back for Batman RIP and he manipulates the gang wars in Gotham after Batman dies, which actually sadly only makes it worse.
Hmm.
And then Tim Drake has to come in and like help clean it up and then join forces together uh, to a point because Tim refuses because he doesn't like Jason's, methods, obviously, which causes more drama between Tim and Jason because, again, which I'll probably touch more on Tim's episode,
Hmm.
but like Jason's awful to Tim.
Yeah.
I mean, completely awful. He's probably, I mean, Tim, honestly, out of all the brothers, like, he kind of has Jason, like, run for his money. Like, for what they do to that poor boy and what he goes through as well.
I mean, none of the Robins had an easy time. Unfortunately,
No.
Dick probably had it the easiest.
Yes,
Um,
for sure.
yeah. It, I don't know. It's crazy. But I love this character. I fucking love
Mm-hmm.
the Red Hood. Um, and between the two of us, I'm a video game boy.
Mm-hmm.
I play video games way more than I read comics or anything like that. So what I know of the Red Hood is through Injustice, the video games. Um, Tons of fun. Love to play as him. But in in the Injustice comics as well as the game, uh, he like he takes on the Batman. He impersonates Batman. He impersonates Batman, and
Yeah.
but like also uses guns.
Yeah, he definitely does battle for the cowl. And again, like I'm pretty sure it's like 3 times for sure, but like there's 3 times where he just like beats the crap out of Tim Drake. No real reason. And just puts all his rage onto Tim Drake. But that's another him and Tim Drake fight during the Battle of the Cowl.
Okay, yeah, that's a whole other thing that yeah, that we'll get into that too because that's insane. Um,
Tries
but
to kill him for sure twice. I mean, he leaves him alive the first time, and the next 2 times he was like legitimately trying to kill him.
yeah, well, I mean,
Like Tim Drake does not deserve this. Like out of all of them, he's the
no.
one that like legitimately is like targeted by the other bats for no reason. Just out of anger. Like let's Tim Drake's the punching bag.
He's the newest one, right?
No,
It's
Damian Wayne is.
Damian Wayne. Okay, Damian's the
Yes.
newest one. Well, yeah. Okay, so that makes sense because looking at the Injustice series, the video games, like when I believe it was the first Injustice game. If you beat the game with a alternate ending, you get an alternate ending with each of the characters. Like a classic, you play the classic mode, you get an alternate ending. It's a fighting game, so every fighting game has this. So it's like non-canonical, but so basically, if you don't know the Injustice series, it's imagine the Marvel Civil War. That's it. It's the Marvel Civil War.
Okay.
Where, well, it's not really. Brainiac sort of comes in, pulls some shit. Superman is kind of not kind of. He's the bad guy in this run. But my point in mentioning all this is when you win as the Red Hood, he's like he talks about Bruce and Superman fighting themselves again, like even after like Brainiac is defeated, but they go back to fighting each other. And so this is a direct quote from the epilogue of that game, when you win as him. So while the world's finest fight each other, I fight for the people, the weak, the innocent, anyone who can't protect themselves. When they cry out for a savior, I'll answer. As for the criminals that threaten them, they need to know that their actions have consequences, that the Red Hood is coming for them. That, I think, encapsulates him as a character way better than a lot of other media of him.
Absolutely.
Because
Well, I think now in the current, he's definitely trying to like seek a redemption, and that's where now especially in the continuity, he's running the Outlaws.
okay.
So he's trying for sure. Like he's gotten through all this, and he's
He's trying his hardest.
like, yeah, and it's like I've had a shit run, and I have been given the worst hand possible, but I've also been a shit person. So let's try to turn this around a bit and seek redemption.
Okay, so who are so is the Outlaws like his version of the the Justice League? Like what are they?
Kind of. It's him, Arsenal, and Starfire. So they're more like dubious because all three have and are
Oh,
willing to
wait.
kill
Wait,
to a point.
Starfire? Like the
Yeah.
Starfire?
Yes.
I thought she was in good with Dick.
Yeah, after she comes back and everything, she kind of like they split off. I mean, there's still goodwill between them. There always will be, but she kind of like it didn't work. And then after her whole Raven thing and having to go on a spiritual journey, and she went back to Tamaran for a long time. So I'm not fully sure how she came back to be in the Outlaws. Uh, I just know Arsenal was, originally Speedy, who was Green Arrow's sidekick and broke away from that.
Oh, okay. I
So,
was gonna ask why Speedy and Green Arrow were literally the same fucking character. Um, but one's young.
yeah.
But okay, cool. That solves that. It's because he was his sidekick. That makes a lot of
hmm
sense. Yeah, okay. That clears that up.
So yeah,
Fucking Robin Hood. I'm gonna be Robin Hood. Fuck it.
pretty much. And that's like I have no problem like some people do and I understand, but like I have no problem with my heroes killing people to a point.
Yeah.
Um which probably has become very clear at this point, where I stand. But like and that's Green Arrow kills, uh Wonder Woman kills, Superman has technically killed.
No,
I
like
mean, there's a
okay.
whole list of like
I
standing heroes that have killed,
yeah, I
and it's
should
just so weird
clarify.
to me.
I should clarify because I've kind of been all over the board on it. Like, I think when it comes down to it, that sometimes it's necessary. I think
Hmm
that any loss of life is tragic. Um, but at the same time, I love watching John Wick.
Yes.
Yeah, like each individual person. I try to be humanist in that regard. Um, but at the same time, sometimes because I clearly I'm human, so I my emotions get the better of me sometimes. So like there are times when I'm like, yeah, like fuck that person, fuck the person for what they did. And some people do deserve to die. Some people have forfeit their right to live.
hmm
Murderers. If you are willing to take the life of someone else, I feel like your life is forfeit. End of discussion. So in that regard, like, yeah, I get it. So, just wanted to put that out there.
Okay. But yeah,
uh,
so during this run too, it seems like Jason and Tim have come to a slight understanding or on better grounds.
mm,
So that's good. Like he's like I said, he's definitely trying. And I think Tim is like Jason's biggest regret because Tim literally was again, he was just another child and what he was trying to do was trying to save Batman. And originally he only became Robin because Dick refused to go back to being Robin. So he's like, no one else will do it, so I guess I have to. Because after Jason's death, Bruce does go off the deep end and is just brutal and like it's clear if he keeps on this path that he is going to probably cross his line.
after Jason dies for the second time or the first time?
First time.
Mm, okay.
And that's why Tim becomes Robin. But yeah, so like they seem to be having a better run and yeah, he's running the Outlaws. And then the new DC Rebirth, he's still running the Outlaws, but it's different characters. So it's him, Artemis, who's a disgraced Amazon warrior, and then it's Superman clone called Bizarro.
Oh, Bizarro.
Bizarro, yes, thank you.
We
Goodness.
love Bizarro. I fucking love him. He's such a goofy bastard, but he's so great.
Yeah, he's
He's
cute in a strange way.
yeah, he
Like I'm
tries.
down for it.
He tries his best. And that's all you can hope for.
Yeah, so far that is all I have on Jason Todd. I do plan, I haven't read his comic books much. I'm hoping to get into his new run just because the Outlaws looks very, very interesting and fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the art of the new characters, so I just also need to go to our local comic book store and I just haven't had a chance to do anything but work.
Mm.
So, Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. So, yeah, final thoughts on the Red Hood. I mean, like I mentioned before, um, he he's a good he's a good character to have for Batman because I think he really starts to put into perspective like is how bad off Batman is in general,
Hmm.
like not just in a emotional state and a mental state. Just he pushes this poor kid to be he needs to be as good as the Robin who came before him, and due to a mounting uh, pile of fucking issues, he gets this poor kid killed, and then the kid comes back and he kills him again. But he assumes he kills him.
Yeah, assumes. Thank you. I'm like, he didn't kill
I
him.
know, I
Like,
know, I know. It just come on. He basically kills him. I mean,
I mean, that's, yeah. And that's how, yeah. Yeah.
how could you imagine being in that situation, being like having your only father figure, your only parental figure that you have, literally fucking kill you twice, once indirectly, and the second time directly. Because, like I said, from Batman's point of view, he died. I would
Hmm.
assume. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely assumed, and it's kind of ended like that in that issue, and then he comes back and resurfaces.
like,
So,
ugh. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's crazy to me.
well,
You
and
know,
I love the story aspect of you have your hero that's this perfect and they don't cross that line. I love the stories that have them cross that line and what
mm-hmm.
it takes. And since it's pretty obvious Batman is never going to cross that line, the closest thing I'm going to get is Jason Todd, which I love. So I love going down those types of what ifs and story arcs. And
Yeah,
granted, we've had what ifs of Batman killing, which has been great, but
the
I just,
Batman Who Laughs is an
yes.
amazing heavy metal version of Batman, and it's yeah. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. In the way I look at stuff like this is things are more interesting when you have restraints, when you have to work within the confines of what you're given. So in D&D, um, I find it's so when you roll up your character's stats, I think it's better to have weaknesses. You know what I mean? Because like there's some
Hmm.
people that play that game for their for the power fantasy to just be the strongest, to power game to be the baddest that you can be. But when I play fifth edition, I kind of hope I roll like real low on some of my d4s when I'm rolling up my character stats. So, like for instance, I'm playing a Kenku, um, Gloomstalker, Ranger, because we're doing the mod Descent to Avernus, and we're basically going to hell. Um, but yeah, and I've got like a fucking 6 in charisma, and your stats can go up to 18 when you roll because you roll 4d6 or 4d6 drop the lowest. So that
Okay.
means, maximum roll is 3 sixes, which is, it's 18. Um and so I have a 6. I, I I am very close to having the lowest possible roll. Um and it's like a -2, -3, I can't remember, to all of my charisma rolls. Um but it's more fun. It's more interesting that way because my character is, well, if you know anything about Kenku, they can't speak in the way that you could imagine that a being would speak. They can only parrot. They can only copy things that they've heard, right?
Okay.
So I get to play this dopey bird that has no idea what he's doing. He can't talk to people. He's very bad at it. But I can shoot a bow, and my party members love me, and that's all that matters. So
There you go.
my whole point in bringing all that up is when you have a character that cannot kill, you leave out a huge portion of of things that you can do to an enemy. It turns out humans typically are pretty easy to kill.
Yes.
Honestly, look at this on the superhero spectrum. Humans are real squishy, real easy to take out. So I think that it really speaks to a character like Batman. It speaks to his validity, really, as a superhero, that he goes through so much to ensure that he doesn't kill people. And obviously it's a dangerous job, and obviously some people do deserve to be fucking put in the ground. But I think it's more interesting to work with your I'm trying to think of the word here, but you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, it's definitely, and that's where I like playing with that morality aspect.
Hmm.
Plus, I think, and that's again I don't know, man. I switch back and forth.
Limitation breeds creativity. That's what I was trying to say. Jesus, I could have just said that instead of ranting for 5 fucking minutes straight.
No, you're good. But plus, I just love his character design and his costume as Red Hood.
Looks so cool.
And that jacket, I just love the jacket.
Yeah, the combat boots and the fucking all the real tactical shit, and just a jacket, just a cool leather jacket, dude. Come on.
Which I'm pretty sure it wasn't, because obviously Jason Todd became Jason Todd before, but Jensen Ackles, who is in Supernatural, who voices him in Under the Red Hood, I love him as a person and as an actor. And in Supernatural, he literally he wears the same jacket. So it just makes me that much more happy. We're I don't know. It's such a random tangent, but
no, it's not random at all. What if he plays him? What do you think? Live action.
Oh, I'm down.
Right? Come on.
Well, because it's whenever I think of the Red Hood and I think of his voice, it's always gonna be Jensen.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, because
no matter what.
Isn't Jason Todd? Isn't he in Titans? The live action show? I'm pretty sure he's in it. So and he's this young little punk kid. He totally works. I think he works as a good young Jason, but fucking Jensen Ackles, I mean, come on, it doesn't get any better than that.
Plus he's cute and it just works. I actually could totally see it. I mean, granted, I would be fine, but they should probably make him wear blue contacts and I'd feel a little bit better, just because the blue eye, dark hair is such a thing with all of the bats that it would be kind of hard. That's something a little bit harder to move past than Daenerys Targaryen, that's technically supposed to have purple eyes. You know what? That's easier to move past.
Who's that?
Than, huh?
Who was that? Who was that character you mentioned?
The Dragon Lady in Game of Thrones.
Fuck, I've never seen Game of Thrones. I just know it's intense.
Oh, man.
I saw a little kid get pushed out a window. That shit was funny.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah,
the things they do for love.
That was terrible. Ugh. Love. I know the context of that scene too. Don't give me that shit. Ugh. Anyway, incest aside, we're gonna push that to the wayside and not mention that again. Yeah, I think he's shown up in a lot of video games. Speaking of, I mentioned this a little bit before we started recording this. Spoilers for the Arkham Knight video game. If you haven't played any of the Arkham series, please go fucking play it. Just go right now. I did this last episode, I think, or the episode before, where I'm like, just go do the thing. Please, actually, genuinely go do the thing. They're very good games. We mentioned before, how Batman isn't typically, in like any of the live action portrayals of him, shown to be much of a detective.
Right.
He's pretty much rich boy who beats people up. He's Iron Man without any of the charisma, which turns out is not interesting to watch at all.
No.
At least from my perspective. But in the Arkham Knight series, the Arkham Knight games specifically, the Arkham series, instead of doing the Red Hood thing, they do basically the same storyline, but he just becomes the Arkham Knight.
Okay.
It's really obvious. Like, honestly, if you play the game, you're like, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, he talks like he knows Batman. He knows what Batman's gonna do. He's like antithetical to Batman in every way. He strikes deals. He has an alliance with Scarecrow. He deals with Deathstroke. Like, it's insane. He does end up turning himself around in that game. At the end, he does become an anti-hero more than anything else. But yeah, his backstory is phenomenal in the game, and it's all stuff that you can find in the game. And also, I think it's really cool that instead of doing the Red Hood thing where he mocks Batman by dressing up as the Joker's outfit, he says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna dress as you. I'm gonna call you out because fuck you, Batman." And he puts on this super militaristic, like, just honestly, dude, I wish Batman dressed like this kind of suit. But yeah, he just he does the thing. He becomes Red Hood at the end of the game and kind of fights back, and like I said, he becomes an anti-hero and sort of helps Batman. But
yeah, that's where he's definitely anti-hero. Like, he teeters a lot. But I like him in that spectrum.
Yeah. And this game specifically plays up his issues a lot more. Where, like, Batman goes after him to obviously to take him down because he's fucking up Arkham City. And again, he's got all these deals with these real big named villains. And when Batman figures out or finds out that Jason Todd is the Arkham Knight, he doesn't even say anything. Like, Jason like freaks out. He's like upset about it. He freaks out about it. He's like, it's fine, whatever. And then he gets real mad at him. It's like, you can tell that everything that he does, he's just trying to fucking get to Batman. He's just trying to fucking poke at him.
For sure. Which, after what he goes through, I'm not surprised. I mean, of course, he wants any type of emotion. Because that's another issue with Bruce is, besides, like, sometimes anger, he has a tendency not to show any emotion.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's hard to get any type of read off of him. So I could see where he would want to poke and prod and get anything besides just cold indifference.
Yeah. he wants a reaction. Unfortunately, he's a kid. He's a young kid who has been beaten and bruised and bloodied and left to fucking die by multiple people. And but I think that game, if you like Jason Todd as a character, it definitely is it's a fantastic take on him, and I think it's definitely worth checking out if you like that if you like that side, because I mean, yeah, no, Al, you need to go play those games, Allie. I'm serious. Like, I will buy them for you. It's, yeah. But yeah.
I'm sure I will eventually.
They're,
at some point.
They're definitely, time investments. It takes a while to get through them. But yeah, it's worth it. But yeah, the Red Hood, Jason Todd. Oh boy, what a boy. This poor kid. Anything else that you'd like to add? Is there a comic run that he's going through right now? What's Jason Todd doing these days?
I mean, it's just right now he's running the Outlaws, so I don't know too much about his new run.
Okay.
As I do, because I haven't been reading it. Like, I've read the first issue of Dix, so don't know too much, sadly. And sadly, I mean, he's kind of touched on an Injustice, or not. Yeah, Young Justice, not Injustice.
Okay.
But he's not really in anything besides the, Under the Red Hood, which that movie is just
phenomenal. Yeah,
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good movie.
Yeah, I was wondering, because I think that's the most recent thing. Yeah, like I said, Jason Todd is in Titans.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure, because Titans is I gotta look.
Which that does give me a live action Dick Grayson. And I've tried watching the first episode, but it's just a little too much for me.
Yeah, I mean,
can't do it.
They tried to. They changed a lot. I mean,
yeah.
The first scene the first commercial was he was like, "Fuck Batman," and that was like his first.
Which I'm actually at one point he probably does say that. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure
in the trailer. I'm telling you, in the trailer, he literally says "fuck Batman." Like, how edgy?
Which I think is great.
Come on,
I do. I mean, I think every Robin's probably said it at one point in a different iteration.
Yeah, I mean, like, actually, fuck Batman. Like, I must say it, fuck Batman, but
fuck Batman and his parenting skills.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could you imagine, like, if he didn't have Alfred? Oh my goodness, those children would have been like, Tim Drake would have taken over the world. Jason Todd and Damian Wayne would have killed half the world.
Oh.
And then Dick Grayson would just be running around being Dick Grayson. I don't even know what he would do, honestly, but probably trying to stop Damian and trying to keep everyone together, honestly.
Yeah, probably, because I'm reading through the wiki for this Titans show, and you probably won't want to watch it.
I know I don't want to watch it.
Well then, I guess spoilers. I guess I'm gonna spoil something for you. Trigon is in it, which makes sense, Raven being a big deal. Jason gets taken into an illusion where Dick kills Batman, and Jason gets pissed about it, and they fight in this illusion. And as a last resort, he grabs a loaded gun, the same one that murdered Bruce Wayne's parents, and kills him.
Ooh.
In this illusion. So, like, they're not only are they saying, I mean, obviously Trigon was, he had a plan there, but they're like, hey, look, Jason straight up murders Dick with the gun that killed Batman's parents. Like, holy
Ugh,
shit.
so much.
Edge.
Too much.
Edge. What do you mean? Yeah, I don't know. He looks fine. Like he could definitely be a young. He looks good. You know what I mean? He fits Jason Todd. As a character, but I don't know. I just hope that it goes somewhere enough so that he gets something standalone. Because again, we
They all
mentioned...
deserve standalone, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I feel like the only real one that's getting true standalone that focuses on them, like movie wise, would be Damian Wayne. Because Damian Wayne is like a focus of the animated movie verse.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because Dick has Titans and Young Justice, but
that's true.
Which are phenomenal.
They've used Grayson a lot, actually. Now that I'm really lining it up. So that, and Jason's been in. He's in this show. He's in the Injustice games, as well as the Injustice, probably the Injustice comic run. I don't know how he fares in that. From what I remember, I think he pops up with his like gang to sort of fill in the power vacuum after Superman gets taken out for a while there. Because it's fucking Jason Todd. He's an asshole. It's just fuck Batman. That's his whole thing. He's the kind of guy that is like, yo, fuck Batman, but then would go home in his little diary and be like, today I thought about Batman again. and he secretly runs the Batman fan club. That's the kind of guy he is. I feel like he just wants to be good enough for Batman. That's what
yeah.
That's okay. And now I need a live action Beast Boy.
Yeah. Which I feel like, I mean, now we have effects and like we've seen Gamora, so that should be fine. But like, it's gonna be hard because he's green.
Nah,
and has green hair.
Just paint him green. It's fine.
Yeah. You know how long he's gonna have to sit in that effects chair, though?
Not too long. He's just gonna be green. As a matter of fact, they could probably do it in post.
No, I mean Gamora. She sits in that chair for a long time. Gamora's actor.
Well, yeah, but
or
it's
actress.
Marvel.
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
You're talking about a Marvel character. Of course, she sits in a fucking makeup chair for 15 hours. What do you got? What do we have for the DC, the Justice League? Who do you think sits in a makeup chair out of that whole group?
Probably Godot.
Who?
And that's
it. Yeah. I mean, like they all put makeup on, but you know what I'm saying. They're very minimalist when it comes to like designs and stuff. And then, dude, the Martian Manhunter, when he showed up at the end of it, at the end of the Snyder Cut, dude, holy fuck.
Yeah, we should probably. I mean, we
Spoilers?
could do even. No, I'm thinking like we could even do like a series on Zack Snyder, not just the Justice League, but because, like I said, I watched the new Zack Snyder Army of the Dead.
Oh my god! Yeah, okay.
Which I actually enjoyed. Which you need to watch so we can review because I thought it was fun.
Okay, yeah, I'll let's see. Fuck, I might put it on tomorrow. I have a big problem with sitting through movies. I just can't unless it like hooks me. You know what I mean?
I mean, this one hopefully should. Overall, the costumes are like good, but there's one, and I won't ruin anything until we can actually talk about it.
Okay.
But this one character, I really like their costume. It's just fun.
Okay.
And pretty, but like dirty and messy. It's just great. Please watch so we can talk.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I actually made my husband really mad because I watched it this morning without asking. He's like, I wanted to watch that. And I'm like, oh crap. It's like I'm in the doghouse now.
Oh no.
It's like, I'll rewatch it. And he just gave me a dirty look.
It's not the same.
I will.
It's not the same. It's not the first time.
I know.
I get that. I do. I was like that with The Mandalorian. I was like, you better not watch this shit while I'm at work, because if you do, I'm gonna be pissed. I can see it. I can see the progress bar.